as it is sometimes. And I pulled one of the Community Reporter big books out and started looking through it. I picked one from 60 years ago, 1963, and I was reading through it, and it just brought back memories to me and things that had happened and people's names I knew, and I thought, well, this is interesting. And it was interesting to me. If it's not to you, you can get up and leave, I don't care. But it's an interactive program. So as I bring something up, and a lot of these are just the headlines and a little bit of the blurb. I didn't do the whole article because that was too long. So as you remember things or see names or hear your name, please chime in on what it was or what you remember about it. So, and every community reporter had certain things that were there every week. Locals, and it might be who visited who, or who went to somebody's house for dinner, or who went to Baltimore on the train, or whatever. The bowling results, all the teams and the points they had, and who was high or low. A Sunday school lesson, there was a column, probably one or two columns of a Sunday school lesson. And there were also one side of, I didn't count how many church services that were listed. Clarence Long gave a report from Washington. It was just called Reports from Washington. I guess, was he a senator or, I don't know who he was. I didn't look him up. Then there was something called Senate Cloakroom, and that was by J. Glenn Bell. There was an Annapolis report, and this was a new name to me, State Senator E.O. Weeny Jr. W-E-A-N-Y. I guess Weeny?
Poor guy.
I never knew we had a senator back, but. Okay, there were also letters to the editor. There was a farm front. There was a little column among the sick, who was in the hospital or who got out or who had the flu or whatever. A here and there column. I did take one or two things from that. There were births, engagements, a little place called Know the Weather. Club news. This included the Lions, Kiwanis, Garden Club. One time there was a coin club. There was something called Women's Club. There was news of servicemen, and they were usually on the front page in their uniform. Remember that? There were ads, all over ads. Social Security news was in there. Of course, a little blurb of Druid Theater, what was playing then, and I think it was 35 cents and 50 cents or something for. And then there was the Mount Airy High School column, the Mount Airy Junior High School column. It included menus, attendance, if you made the honor roll, and then some other things that pop up in here. But those things appeared in every weekly issue of the Community Reporter. And I started in January of 1963. The Carroll County budget approved by the commissioners was $3,778,733.09. And 73% of that went to the schools. So I don't think that's changed too much. There was farm real estate values. For 1961, the value of an acre was $290. In 1962, it was $311. The enrollment at the teachers' colleges increased to 4,042. So I guess that it meant like Towson, Frostburg, Salisbury. Goucher was a teacher, well, yeah. But they had a statewide need for teachers of 4,500 in 1963. 200 attended the 36th Fireman's Banquet, and the 1962 Carnival profit was $6,482.19. Now, does that bring up anything?
Well, I mean, compared to what we've had over recent years, I mean, that's a big difference.
Well, 60 years ago, that was probably a lot for them.
Yeah, I mean, it could have been, you figure, I was just trying to think, we were purchasing a new ambulance at that particular time. And 2 years after that, we were purchasing a new fire truck, so all that would have gone towards those
That,
things.
yeah.
Of course, the fire truck back then cost 13,000-14,000 compared
Yeah,
to
compared to-
1.3 million today.
Yeah.
Bill, that was half a fire truck.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do we know what the profit was this year yet, or? Well, you know the, pardon me?
Mr. Linton, not Mr.
No, okay, well, I thought you might have heard it. Okay,
When I'm talking about it at the dinner table.
well, that's you, thank you. Does she listen? No. Type 3 polio vaccine was approved, the Sabin oral vaccine. Piano students recital from Mrs. Etzler, Doris Tabler, Doris isn't here, Holly Myers, Diane DeVault, Sue Dawn Norwood, Pat Cole, and Susan Baller. Now, do you remember anything about that?
I do remember the recitals.
Now, did they have them at church or where?
Do I have a picture? I remember they were in Calvary Methodist Church in the auditorium, and on the stage, the pianos were up on the stage. And it was every spring, and also I remember many times it was during hurricane season, tornado season.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, and that was kind of just kind of scary aside, but that's what stuck in my mind, that the time of year was always around then.
It's a bit,
Never stuck us up and took us away from it, but.
Saying that I remember being scared to death for that. I mean, I
I did
never
too.
played in front of anybody. And Christy Butler, who was in our class, we were taking lessons together, and we're sitting there in the sanctuary, and Christy takes her sheet music and makes an airplane, and shoots it up over the railing, and she went ahead of me, and of course, she went up there and played without her music, and, but I can still see Christy sitting there and shooting her airplane.
Oh. It wasn't your music.
Right.
Oh, so everybody just played one. I took from Mrs. Essler, but I stopped, I think, before it was recital. I did. Well, I could do one hand, but when you got to the other hand, I didn't.
No, you did too.
Yeah.
So I never made the recital. There was, in the paper, program listings for WFMD 93 AM on your dial, Monday to Friday and Saturday and Sunday. And here are some helpful hints for snow shoveling, 1963, by the Maryland Chiropractic Association. Number 1, never try to do the entire job in one prolonged effort. Number 2, do not pick up more snow on the shovel than it is designed to hold. Number 3, in lifting the shovel, bend the knees, lift with the large muscles of the legs and not with the back. So some things don't change. Number 4, do not tax the spine any more than you overtax the heart. Both are essential to good health. Okay. And this is when they were beginning the drive for the swimming pool, Ridge Swim Club. And the swimming pool to open this summer, the maximum membership could be $350. And you purchase a bond for $200. And I remember you could sell it to a family member, because I remember later years buying my parents' bond for $1. But then I sold it when the new pool opened.
Sandy, I was number 18.
18. And did you keep yours? Did you sell it to Kimberly or
You know, I don't remember,
sell it when the new one came?
but it's been some years ago that I saw the certificate that Mrs. Caldwell had signed.
Yeah. Oh, so you were 18 out of 350.
Uh-huh.
Anybody else remember their number? I don't.
I remember my number. We bought one when we moved to town, but then
Yeah.
when the kids got older, we didn't use it, so we sold it.
Well, and then they got in that if you were inactive member, you had to pay your dues, and they got as high as if you Bought a new certificate, yeah.
Is
Yeah.
the pool still used today?
Mm-hmm.
They built a new one, yeah.
Yeah, I was just there on Monday, on Labor Day. It was packed, and it was so much fun because there's all these people that probably hadn't used it all year long, and like I knew most of them. So it's like, because normally we'll go, and I don't know any of the young kids anymore because all of our kids have grown on up. But yeah, they've totally redone it. We've got the big lap pool, and then you've got the smaller shallow pool with the big mushroom in it, and they turn the water on, and all the kids scream, and it's great. It's a lot of fun,
Oh, good.
but it's a lot more expensive now.
Yes,
Yep.
the original two, well, there's more about that later. It jumps around because I just took, paper by paper by paper. I didn't go back and put it all together, so have to take that. Then there was the local girls basketball team, the Mary High School Bulldogs. Suffered their first loss of the season to Ligonor, 27-25. The high scores were Sandy Litton and Peg Warfield. And they've had 4 straight victories. But, on the opening game against Robert Moton, we won 60-38. Peggy Warfield had 30, Sandy Litton had 13, Claudette Archer Brown had 8, and Sandy Collison had 7. And I'm sure I only got in because it was 60-38. If it wasn't- if it hadn't been that high, I'd still be on the bench. Girls' games this year are faster and more interesting to watch since 2 roving players are permitted on a team. Remember when